Hi Haley, welcome back. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you again too.
So tell me, how has everything been going since we've last talked?
Well, it's been going pretty well. As far as my roommate goes, I talked to her, and as far as my professor goes, and my classes and clinics, going pretty well.
Excellent. Awesome. Has there anything that's changed within your relationships or dynamics since we last talked?
As far as my roommate or professor,
Even what?
well, my roommate, yes, I ended up, told you I just talked to her, and we had a conversation about space and about each other's, quality time. And the conversation went well. She received it well, so I'm happy.
I'm so thrilled to hear that.
Yes.
I'm glad that you took that initiative to have that conversation and to hear that, you guys had that type of relationship to where it paid off and there was no hurt feelings, correct?
Yes, no hurt feelings. She was, like I said, very receptive of it, and I think that she also agreed and felt the same herself. So I didn't necessarily tell her that she was being a nuisance per se, but I just told her my feelings, and she, like I said, she's responsive to it, and we went from there.
So it sounds like you took that step and you sort of made that line in the sand, and you guys were able to come to a mutual agreement, and she actually ended up feeling the same way.
Yeah, so I was very happy, pleased.
Well, great. I'm so happy. So tell me about what's going on in school right now, because I know that's something that that was a big stress for you.
Yes, well, school, same old, same old. We're actually ending the near clinic, and things with my supervisor it's about the same as I told you last time. She has different, teaching styles and methods, which I'm trying to adjust to, but I don't know if I'm the one that needs to adjust to her ways, or like I told you before, if I need to go ahead and talk to her, or what it is. So,
why do you think it's so hard for you to establish that initial contact to say these issues and talk about it versus how it was with Emily?
Because she's an authority figure. She's an authority figure, and I don't want to overstep any boundaries.
Okay. So, when you thought of some ways last time that we were together of, maybe how you could spark that relationship to, sit down and discuss some of these issues, what are some of the things that went through your mind when you thought about that?
Well, so you're talking about some of the things that went through my mind as far as how I could approach her?
Exactly.
Well, every week we have a supervisor meeting, and so I thought this is the perfect time to sit down and to talk to her and to let everything out, but be respectful in the same time. But as I was going to say something to her and we were in our supervisor meeting, it just a feeling of fear came over me, like, do you really want to do this? Oh, you only have like 4 more weeks with this specific supervisor, so do you really want to say something or just tough it out? But then I thought, what about the next girl that comes in after me that has her, and maybe I could be a advocate for her, letting the supervisor know, hey, these things or how your teaching style method is really not effective. But I don't know if it's just not effective for others or just me.
And that's a hard thing to try to read between, is whether or not it's just the teacher, the professor. Like you said, it's between the relationship with you and the teacher. But I think it's awesome that you want to shed a light on potential issues for others. That's a great thing that you pointed out. But I also think as well too that sometimes in situations like this, it can come back around in a different form. Just because it's not this teacher, maybe it's not the teacher, this teacher next time, but what if, you get another supervisor who is, who's like her, and,
I didn't think about that.
What if you get another supervisor?
I hope not.
Yeah, I would hope not too. We all go through that season of fear, where you're scared to really voice your opinion or voice your concerns because you're afraid that the person's not going to be receptive of it, and that's honestly a risk that is there. But I feel like you've taken the necessary steps with your roommate, and you saw how great that paid off. But I think it would help you a lot in your school just to get some of those things off your chest, and
Right.
put some of that out there.
Right.
But I think it's good that you've been thinking about it and it's been on your mind.
Yes, I would agree with that. I never thought about it that way. Because what if I do come in this situation again? Then that's another whole semester of a not so great supervisor. So I know that initially, I know that eventually I'm going to have to face the situation. But I don't want to right now.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I think we're on the same page. Do you think we can say that? We're on the same page?
I would agree with that.
It's definitely something that we both think that you need to do. So now let's try to look at how we can actually put that into place. As you said you only have 4 weeks left.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, before the 4 weeks is over, or even when the 4 weeks is coming to an end, if you still want to have that conversation, I don't think it's never too late to voice how you feel.
But I'm scared that if I tell her these things, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, okay, she's giving me a clinical grade at the end, and is that grade going to be impacted and affected because of what I said to her? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that she's that type of person that she would do that,
but you just don't know.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Scared.
Yeah, I think too.
So it's a fear of the not knowing. You know what I mean?
And that's a very scary thing, and that's with every decision in life. I don't think this is going to be the last time that you face this. I face it personally in my own life with the unknown all the time. Life is full of decisions, and they sort of have a ripple effect after that.
Yeah.
But I also do think that, when you voice your opinion in a certain manner, in a certain way, and, it's all about what you say and how you say it,
Mm-hmm.
that it can be perceived in a certain kind of way. So even though you don't have the best relationship with her, some of the things that you want to say to her can definitely be constructed in a way to where it can be received well, I believe.
Yes, I agree. So
what are some of the things that you would say to her if you had this encounter?
I really don't know. That's probably something that I'm a planner. I probably have to sit down and plan out like what specifically I would say to her.
And that's
because I don't want to get in there and stumble and fumble with my words. Because I want to make sure that it comes across clear to her and she gets where I'm coming from. So I did that. When I initially wanted to go and talk to her in our meeting, I did sit down. I did think about, okay, what can you say? How would it come across the best way? And I don't think I really thought of anything specific yet.
But I think that's something good to work on. I think you pointed out a good goal for yourself right there. It's one thing to think about it. That's the task I gave you last time, is just to think about it and, usually our thoughts turn into actions anyways, and we saw that happen with Emily. But maybe now, since this one's a little bit tougher for you, write out some of the things that you don't necessarily care for, or some things that have happened that's stressed you out, that you feel like it could have been resolved by her doing something better. Write those things out, just bluntly and plainly, and then try to construct sentences that would make it a little bit easier for her to understand where you're coming from without coming off so blunt or rude or brash.
I thought about one of the strategies, reauthorization strategy I use in therapy with my client when we work on conversation, two-way conversation, and we do scripts, and I said, well, maybe I need to do a script for myself, and or either talk with somebody, maybe my mom or something. She'd be my supervisor, and I'll be myself, just practice like what I'm going to say to her, because I want to be genuine at the same time, but I just really want her to get the memo, the message.
So it sounds like you want to make sure that it's effective whenever you do it.
Because I don't want it to come back. One of my other fears, I don't want to come back that next week and nothing still have changed, and I wasted my breath talking to her.
I don't think it could ever be a wasted breath if you're taking the time to, vocalize yourself. Not everything we say in life or do. I know with me sometimes, I get frustrated with, family, friends, and you end up, voicing your opinion, and it seems like it goes in one ear and out the other. But the purpose of doing this is not so much for your professor, but it's for you, to relieve this stress that you've been carrying, this burden, and it's an added bonus if it results in some kind of change. I fully believe that you taking care of yourself is priority. I fully believe that, and so it sounds like you have an action plan in place right now. You have these goals. You want to think about what you're doing and how you're going to say it and when you're going to say it. And so let's get a little bit more detailed. Now that you have a script in place, let's maybe try to narrow down another time where this could happen. You said you had a gateway of supervision that you could have, initiated this. What's maybe another time that you think that this could happen?
Well, definitely during, I would say, we have a conference coming up, and I know that maybe during that time, maybe I could pull her to the side and talk to her, maybe, so it won't be in that clinical setting, or just be outside, and maybe in that way I'll be a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more relaxed and not so uptight. And I'm in a meeting with her, and she's talking to me about therapy, and I just spring that on her. So maybe more in a naturalistic environment or setting. So maybe when we go to the conference, or I guess another time could be, instead of doing it in the meeting, maybe talk to her outside of my meeting times, when she's just in her office or directly after therapy.
Sounds like some good options to me. I like the one that you said about at the conference, because usually when people are outside of their normal environment, that causes, a more relaxed conversation, and you're not tense, she's not tense, she's not thinking about going over your progress with you, and maybe that would be a good time, like I said, just to start off the conversation by just being human, and asking her how she's doing, and it start from there. I don't think that you have to go straight in and start out, with your list of complaints, what you have, but just going in and just establishing some kind of relationship,
right. But did you ever have any of these issues or problems when you were in school? Because I know you mentioned.
I did. I did have a few issues. My professors had an open door policy, like they like to call it, and so the fact that they had that off the bat sort of was easier for me to they sort of initiated that relationship, saying, hey, by saying that there's an open door policy, they initiated that they wanted us to feel comfortable coming and talking to them.
Right. But did you really actually feel comfortable even though they said it?
Oh, no, I didn't. I did not feel comfortable whatsoever, but I had got to a place where it was almost a breaking point for me in school. I just felt like I was really struggling, and so it was either be a sinking ship on my own, or extend the lifeline and grab it, or accept the lifeline, and that's what I did. But it didn't start out overnight. It was a progressional thing, and I remember myself being at the exact same point as you were, not really knowing what they were going to say, how they were going to perceive it. But I was surprised by the outcome.
Yeah, I think, we definitely all have different experiences, but I feel like I know I didn't mention this last time, but I feel like I'm still adjusting to also other things. I'm still trying to adjust to the fact that, I am the only African American girl in my program. So I feel like there's already some stereotypes placed on me even before I feel like I have to prove myself, because I feel like there's so many stereotypes that's already placed on me before I even went in. So that's, something that I'm dealing with, and I don't want to be labeled as the, if I want to talk to my supervisor about what's going on, I want to be labeled as the angry black girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I think being African American myself, I definitely dealt with that going into the workplace, especially for the age that I was at. I was the youngest one, and I was over people who were older than me, and I was African American, and my staff members were all of another race. And so it was definitely intimidating, and it definitely is a burden, to think about constantly, you having to watch your moves and watch your actions. So I definitely relate and I sympathize with that. And I think it's great, though, that you are the first African American, the only African American in your program right now. That's something to be proud of. But I know it comes with its own struggles as well. And, I think this is even more of a reason why you should express yourself, and like I said, there's a way that you go about doing it to where, it's in a respectable way, but you can't help how others perceive you. That's one thing you can't control. So we want to focus on the things that we can control. What does Haley say? How does she say it? And what actions do I want to take to make my future easier for me, or not necessarily easier, just, less stressful. So, I think that you should focus on maybe, what makes things better for you, and not so much how you're going to be perceived. Even though, but I know that. I know it's definitely difficult.
Yes.
I know it's difficult.
I think it's that saying that, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a lot of things in life that way, but I'm glad that you opened up to me about that. That really...
because I was really hesitant to say that, because I didn't,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we have that kind of relationship to where you trust me, to indulge in that kind of information. I hope that, we have that trusting relationship together.
We definitely do. I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable here because I don't feel like I'm just talking to someone who's got it all together. So it's good to know that you've had your experiences, and I've had mine, and I can relate to that. So I'm very grateful for that, and have someone to talk to, because I can't really talk to my family all the time, or my friends.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I know that our sessions are starting to come to an end, and we won't be seeing much of each other anymore. But I also found on your campus, I found some great resources called the Blue House.
Yes.
And they offer some great counseling resources. So if you ever feel like you do need someone to talk to, they are available, and they have great resources there. Because I know that's something you definitely need in school. You need someone to outlet and talk to.
Yes. And I've heard of their they came on campus several times and offered several resources, and I thought it would be a good thing. It's just finding the time to,
Yeah.
seek it out. But I've heard great things about their services and resources, so I think I will. I'll check it out and I'll give it a try.
I'm glad. So let's just recap and just, discuss our plan for you. So we're going to have you talk to your professor for sure at the conference.
Yes.
And before that, you are going to write down your script per se,
Yes.
your script, and think of ways you can say it in a more respectable manner to where it can come up clear and effective. And I'm gonna follow up with you after that just to make sure that everything's good and wrapped up. Is there anything else that you want to cover before our sessions complete and we go our separate ways?
I don't think so. I have to go study for a test now.
Well, like I said, I'm so glad that you came in to see me, and I'm glad that things are going well for you in a progressive manner and you're moving forward. And I hope that you take our plan that we established together and you really move forward with that to make things better for yourself, but not, like you said, like other people who may come in behind you.
Yeah.
So
I think I've made a lot of progress here already just by my roommate, so I'm pleased.
well, I'm so glad. And like I said, you have our office's number if you need to contact me for any reason. But remember the Blue House as a great resource, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thanks.